Hey, so this is our final demo video of our Capstone project. We redesigned the Milwaukee County Transit System app. So here's the home page of the app. There's two ways to actually get your start location for your bus route. You can either do a current location, which uses your geolocation, or you can click on the map to select the start location. We'll show both of them in this video. First way is to do get my location. Okay, so it will get your location. You can zoom in or zoom out in the map, and then you just need to select an end location. And once it does that, it will show the address, and then you can just do get best route, and it'll do all the processing, and it'll show the bus route number. In this case, it's red line, and then all the stops that the bus is gonna make. It'll list all of them. Then you can just remove all addresses to start all over again. So the second way that we can do the start and end location is just show Milwaukee map. Once it does that, we just press on the map any location that we want to start in. So let's say this one, and let's say our end location is right here. So it will populate both of them, and then just to get best route, and then it shows the route number along with all the stops that bus is going to make. And now let's go over our actual source code for the whole program.
Sure. So basically what we're looking at is this application relies heavily on the use of AJAX calls to query MCTS's API bus time. And so what we've done is, if we look further back at if we just run back quick to the actual application, is we're seeing a couple of different layers of data they're all working together to create this experience. And so firstly, what we have is this physical map itself. And so what we have is a API called Leaflet, which allows us to take tiling, which we used from Mapbox for tiling, and so that's going to give us this nice map interface of the city of Milwaukee. And then we also have an additional API called Turf.js, which allows us to call in and find the shortest distance between 2 points. And so if we're looking back at our source code here, we can see that our setup does a few different things. We get locations, we show Milwaukee, we enable the get best route, and we also can remove addresses if we wanted to do a second location. And then we have the instructions menu on high, and we're using jQuery for all of that. So if we go down a little bit further, we can just see an example of some of the AJAX calls that we were using and some of the methods to go ahead and get some of these different bus routes and to determine what would be the closest bus route to you. And so if we're looking at functions, these are the distance functions to find out the distance from the starting and ending point to the closest bus route. And if we scroll down a little bit more, there are plenty of lines of code. We're going to get down here. And so what we do is we figured out that the simplest way for us to get every single different variation of bus route is to go ahead and do an AJAX call for each line individually. Now, at first we were doing this on load, so every call was being made, but we found that that's really way too slow and is really unnecessary for what we need. So what we ended up doing is we broke those into switch cases using JavaScript's switch case functionality. And so it's only going to call those if the distance function deems that the bus route is going to be used within this particular request from the user. So realistically, it was a lot of playing around. We found a lot of roadblocks along the way, specifically with navigating MCTS's API. I think one of the things we would have liked to do, had we had more time and resources, would have been to find a faster and easier way to iterate over the stops to make them easier to place on the map to visually see. That was one of the largest hurdles that we saw. And then also to be able to add in more functionality in terms of different ways to navigate. And then for this final act, we're actually going to have another member of the team run over a little bit of this functionality using MapQuest to go ahead and route between two locations that are either very close to one another or perhaps if the distances are short enough or there isn't a bus stop within the area between them, to use the MapQuest API and find the shortest route between the 2 points and still give you the directions. So you can see here are the 2 points being put in, and using the MapQuest API, we're able to take those 2 points, go ahead and be able to see those directions over in the sidebar. And the nice thing about the MapQuest API is it makes it very easy to show that line in comparison to what I spoke about earlier with the MCTS API. Getting that line was one of our major roadblocks, and had we had more time, I think we maybe would have been able to implement. But I think that does it for us in our demonstration of the MCTS Reloaded application and the shortest route. Thank you very much.